I mean, I did not think we'd be talking about this after this game, but
Right.
uh, I'm gonna take some time and have conversations with the folks around here, and then take some time away and make a decision. Obviously, before free agency or anything kind of gets going on that front, but it's fresh right now. It's a little shocking for sure. So many guys' contracts are up or on the brink or salary cap stuff. So a lot of decisions to be made. I don't want to be a part of a rebuild if I'm gonna keep playing. So a lot of decisions, in the next couple months.
Coming tomorrow at noon Eastern on the Pat McAfee Show, Aaron Rodgers will join the program to say he didn't say all the things that he said on Saturday night after the Packers lost to the 49ers. It's clockwork. Why do you? And look, maybe at this point he'll just own it. It's been his theme all year long. This could be his last year with the Green Bay Packers. He made it clear that he's going to think about it. He doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. And even though he's under contract through 2022, remember, when he made his big move, his power play, his leverage exercise, he didn't get a contract that frees him after this season. His contract frees him after next season. So the Packers could still decide to be obstinate like they were last year and say we're not going to trade him. Although I'd like to think at this point, if he truly, genuinely wants out, they'll find a way to accommodate him.
Yeah, I would think so too, right? I mean, why deal with it? Why do they want to go through that at this point? I mean, one more offseason, have to deal with all that conversation again. I mean, I'm sure he's hurt. Of course, that was, a blow to Aaron Rodgers' legacy once again. He's going to be looked at as at home. Rodgers, number one seed, couldn't get it done. And that's going to be part of the conversation with him always, because people are going to look at it this way. It's interesting, Mike. It really is. I mean, when you talk about, what's ahead in the offseason for Green Bay, Rodgers, I think if he does play, is he going to want commitment? Is he going to want more money? He certainly can ask for more of that as far as asking for a commitment beyond the 2022 season. We know that was part of like the annoyance last year from him and his camp. And then what are the Packers going to do, as a team? I mean, you get Devontae Adams, who's a free agent. You're going to have to pay him like a top 2 or 3 receiver in football. And I can imagine, if they have to make a lot of drastic moves to their roster to where Rodgers looks at it and goes, wait, this isn't going to be the same team. I do think that changes the dynamics of this situation a little bit to where I would go, wait, I think Rodgers is going to be back in Green Bay. Everything's still in a really good spot and set up the way you'd want if you're a quarterback to think, hey, we're not far off to maybe getting where we want to get to in the Super Bowl. But again, with the salary cap, what are they, plus $30 million over the cap? And some of those situations, you look at it and go, how much of this team will actually be back? And how comfortable will he be if they lose 5-10 players in free agency? I think it's certainly something to think about and evaluate here as the season ends.
And I don't know how you reach a point of comfort and certainty before we see how things play out. Like, he could say, I'm happy to play if we keep this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And do we have a plan for that? Yes, we do. We're very confident. Okay, I'll keep playing. And then free agency comes, and they start to scatter and chase the money elsewhere. And the Packers say, well, we tried. Sorry, we tried. Didn't work. Only have one franchise tag to use. Sorry. Then what does he do? Does he change his mind later? I think this is all pointing toward him spending the next few weeks assessing the question of whether or not the grass really can be greener.
Right.
Is it greener somewhere else? Maybe not. Can it be greener? It can be greener. He's projecting how green the grass is going to be at Lambeau versus how green it could be somewhere else. But you don't spend all that time posturing toward a move without finally doing it. At some point, you got to fire the gun. At some point, you got to just do it. And we'll see. We'll see. I think he's desperate to not be hated by Packers fans the way Brett Favre was. But we've seen him care less about what people think of him. We've seen him care less about people hating him. He's very polarizing. And I think he's morphing away from the guy who doesn't want to be criticized ever, to the guy who understands some people are going to criticize me.
No
I'll
matter
just call
what.
them stupid.
Yeah, right.
I'll just call them stupid, and I'll rally around the people who think I'm great.
Yeah, I don't. There is a little bit more of an effort coming from him, I think, this year, where it's like he just, yes, all right, you don't like me, screw it. There's nothing I can do, and he's doubling down. Yes, I mean, with some of the things he did this year, last year when he lost to the Brady and the Bucks, I feel like most of the football world was like, oh, I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. I feel like this year, because some of the people didn't like his antics on the McAfee show and whatever else, people were like, he got what he deserved. He's a jerk. There's a little bit. He is. It's very polarizing. And I think the point, Mike, that you bring up with the grass is greenier on the other side and all of that type of stuff is just. I'd said that deliberately. All right, that was not
Okay.
That was intentional.
All right. Damn it.
But like,
I'll give you a get out of free jail card.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But the thing I look at to a point you brought up was, he's got to figure out, is the grass greener somewhere else, and can I get better from another team, or can Green Bay go a little bit all in here a little bit? He's got to look again at these teams and go, come on. Well, what else do we need? Look at Joe Burrow. It's stars galore he's throwing to. Matt Stafford had stars galore, and they still gave him Odell Beckham Jr. He's going, damn, can I just get a Van Jefferson in my team? I mean, literally. Rodgers is going, just can I have a Van Jefferson, let alone a Cooper Kupp and an Odell Beckham Jr. and a Higbee? There's issues. They need more players around him. That's where they have dropped the ball. And that's, to me, going to be the million-dollar question for Aaron Rodgers. Does he want to go somewhere, roll the dice, somewhere new system, but they have more talent? Or does he want to stay home and comfy and appeal to the Green Bay fan base like you're talking about and force them to get another guy that doesn't make it just always about him and one other receiver? And if they don't absolutely take over a game, the game is 50-50. That's where it's not fair to Rodgers. I know I'm a defender of him, but that's just my honest opinion in evaluating their team and their situation.
I think it's fair for him at some point to look around and say, you know what, it's always something. It's always something, and it's never me. And he can say that truthfully.
He can.
I'm always showing up and getting it done.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's always something. It's either we don't have enough other players around me, or our special teams coordinator
screws it up. Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's always something. It's always something. I have to be on my A game every single night. I can't slip at all. If I slip at all, we're done. And even if I play my best game, we're not always going to get it done. It's an
That's
amazing
where it's weird
disconnect
for the great quarterbacks
between
there,
regular
yeah.
season
Right.
and postseason. And, the dynamics change so dramatically in the postseason.
Yes, they do.
Some teams, some players struggle for whatever reason to rise to that occasion. And we see it too consistently for the Packers to not say something's wrong there, something that they failed to either identify or even recognize is wrong in that organization, where they can't rise to the occasion when it's time to play win-or-go-home football.
100%, Mike. That's kind of what I always talk about. It's a good team with a Super Bowl quarterback that we think is a Super Bowl team because of the quarterback. But the team has not been great. He misleads us at times because of his greatness. They are the ultimate regular season team. Yes, he can take over against the middle class, the lower class, do all of that, right? They can out-execute regular season football for the most part. But it gets to playoff football. Coaches get more desperate. They're willing to try more things on as far as the opposing team you're playing if you're Green Bay. Oh, let's do this. If we don't stop this, we're going home. So we got to take a chance this week and do that. And then let alone they play teams that have more studs. There's more studs on the 49ers than the Packers. So, you just look at that and go, yes, that's an issue with them. That's why they're a regular season football team, and that's why we've seen them get in the playoffs and flounder against teams, again, that there's no doubt that are better than them. NFC Championship game against the 49ers, it's not close. The 49ers are in another class. Last year, epic meltdown by Tom Brady in the third and fourth quarter. There was still no doubt about who was the better team in the football field and who had more Jimmys than Joes. And that's, to me, where Green Bay has dropped the ball for Rodgers throughout his career.
We need to take a break, and we're going to have plenty of chances to talk about this in the coming days and weeks. I just want to take about 90 seconds, if I can, to delve into one question, because this never would have been an issue in any other offseason if Aaron Rodgers is potentially available to another team. However, Here's the question. Will there be some coaches, general managers, and owners out there who don't like the weekly appearances with Pat McAfee, who don't like the brashness, the effort attitude from Aaron Rodgers? And will that be part of the balance? Is that – because I could see Parcells would have said, no, Aaron, you don't need to be doing this Tuesday thing. No, this Tuesday thing isn't good for anybody. It's a distraction for the football team. I could see some old school mindsets out there saying
100%.
That it's a distraction that we don't need, or at least we're going to factor it into, remaining football skills here and pain in the ass factor here. And maybe for some teams, the balance goes toward, no, we got enough to worry about.
I think that's something to think about. Sure. I think there are going to be teams that are going to go, Rodgers at this point of his career, all that comes with it. They're going to think about it, certainly. I mean, again, the perception is the reality to a degree here. Rodgers has that perception throughout the NFL. Some people think he's a pain in the butt. There's definitely that. But the play is still at a high enough level to where I think people are going to look at it and go, well, he's a pain in the butt, sure, but, man, if he gets here with the team we got, and there's a few teams like that this year where they need a quarterback, and you go, ooh, they're not that far off, that's where he can be extremely enticing for your football team going forward.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.